Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Thursday the 26th of March. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market, the financial markets, using my experience and using technical analysis and indicators. And hope you will learn a little bit so you can do it yourself. All right. There's a video out there that you find on both Substack, where I will publish more and more in the future, and also on YouTube about how I use the RSI, the relative strength indicator, technical indicator that you see down here that I will refer to a lot. All right, let's move on to the market. Yesterday, one of the strongest sectors was the materials sector. And you can see it bounced already stronger the previous day here on Tuesday off the 100 moving average. Here is the ETF that illustrates that. Yesterday pushed higher again above the previous support area here. We had this consolidation area back above here. Still negative sentiment on the RSI, but I think we could see it pushing higher here in the coming days. And if we're looking at the a few other sectors that were doing well, it was still the oil service sector, obviously, and the oil explorations, but that was one of the stronger ones. Also, the agricultural business, which is the food business, food chains, food suppliers, and so on, very strong also, which we talked about a few days ago. But if we then dig a little bit deeper and we're looking at some of the companies, and this is Linde, and again, this is not a recommendation, but that was very strong yesterday, especially in the US. This is the German listed share. You have it like a double bottom here, a strong support there, 407 euros. So really strong bounce there also. And we have the US share here. You can see it was up more than 3%. Also some strong support there, and we can add a horizontal line to it, and we can see that. So maybe we are in for a turnaround. And Linde is one of the world's, if not the largest supplier of industrial gases. And with the rising gas prices, maybe that's what's helping them in a weird way. Another sector that was doing fairly okay, we just very quickly, the semiconductor closed just below 345 and 30, which is the key resistance there. Can it establish a bullish trend? Well, it actually did close above 55 moving average and above the cloud, so maybe that can push higher. And it was especially lifted by ARM Holding that was up 17% yesterday, massive jump there. Sat back a little bit. It was actually much higher during the session, and then sat back, but it was trading around 158 after market, so really strong push there. So if it doesn't close this gap here within the next short term, few days, 1 week or so, then it could crawl higher in the coming weeks. The overall market was lifted a little bit. Nasdaq 100, as we can see, but still in a bearish trend and could come further under pressure. Again, we have the negative sentiment still intact on the RSI there. Here is the future, so we are sliding a little bit lower here pre-market, as we can see. So let's see if this 24,000 level there will come under pressure once again. The S&P 500 still below the 200 moving average, got rejected there yesterday, and here pre-market we can see that it is still in a bearish trend, so be careful out there. You have to be very selective if you're buying some of the stocks, and again, it was not a recommendation for the ones that I did show you later. But look at this, 55, give it a couple of more days, then 55 is about to break below the 100 moving average. Dow Jones, fairly unchanged yesterday, but you can see here pre-market or overnight it is sliding lower again, so be careful also there. And we're still negative sentiment on the RSI. We have the small cap index, the Russell 2000, had a good day, more than 1% up yesterday, but still below the 100 moving average, still negative sentiment and still bearish trend. and I wouldn't be surprised to see it a little bit lower today. So be again very careful if you're trying to buy something. You can see a strong reaction there in Asia. Hang Seng down more than 2% here on the Hang Seng Cash Index, and the lows here at 24,372, the support there, and the lows here from the 23rd could come under pressure, and if it's taken out, well, then suddenly we're looking at levels below 24,000. Nikkei also a little bit, here's the future, still above the 100 moving average, but also trend and negative sentiment. So we are below the cloud, so we could see another selling pressure coming in, but 50,250 key support. And the European session yesterday, fairly okay, but still this is the gap that needs to be closed as a minimum, and then it needs to take out 5,833 to re-establish a bullish trend. For now, we are still in a bearish, and we can see here pre-market, we are market hasn't opened. There's still a little bit 45 minutes till it opens, so we're still sliding lower here now again, below the 200 moving average, so we could see selling pressure coming back in, and that is still the situation in the Middle East that is spooking the market a bit. Also, DAX index, it needs to close this gap, and we weren't even close to test it yesterday. We have been a couple of times, but rejected every single time. So that's around 23,160, and we can see here pre-market where it is. It's being selling off again here. So we could expect a bearish opening to the market or negative opening to the market. The currency market, forex market, well, euro dollar has begun to slide back here, which is not a big surprise. We talked about it past few days. It has trouble getting above 116.25 here, and I think I will draw a horizontal line. So if it takes out that 116.40, well, then maybe we could see a push up to around 117.38, the 786 retracement. But we have all the moving averages here. They were kind of putting a lid on it for now. We still have negative sentiment and no divergence, indicating we are likely to slide lower, and I could see it sliding lower here in the coming days. And if it takes out 114.80 down here, well, then the 114 could be tested once again. That's a key support. Sterling dollar, key resistance 134.85 up here, 85. That is really something to keep an eye on, but it's quite strong resistance, also given the fact that we have 55 moving average coming down there. We are below these two, the 100 and the 200 moving average already. You can see it's actually sliding. I think we will see it sliding lower throughout this session here, but it's pausing a little bit, and maybe it could intraday jump a little bit, but I think we will see it sliding lower towards 133, possibly lower. Euro sterling, the resistance here where we see the 55 moving average kind of putting a lid on it here, also 86.80. That is key resistance that should be observed. We are just a little bit, there we are. So can it push higher here? Can it take it out and push up to the 61.8 retracement there at 87.13? It is debatable because we also have the 200 moving average here and the 100 coming down here, and still negative sentiment. So it might slide lower, but for now it is in a wait and see position. Yen pairs also kind of wait and see. Yes, it is in this range here, and it's a fairly big range to be honest. So that is sometimes it's just like that. So 157.50 and just below here 160. That should be observed. I think, as I said before, it will the breakout will be to the upper side. And if that plays out, that scenario, well, then we are up here in the region around 161, 162, as we could see there on the weekly. The euros, again, trying to crawl higher. Will it take out 184.80, the peak up there? And RSI should get back above 60 threshold. If that scenario plays out, well, then we are back towards the 186, 187 on euro yen there. Aussie yen, it's hawking this rising trend line there, quite interesting. 110 support. We have support here 109.35, where the 55 moving average coming up. And as I talked to I would just repeat myself for weeks now. We are in an uptrend exhaustion, and we now have a lower high there and a little bit lower low. So let's see. It really needs to turn around to push higher, but we could also see it sliding lower. So be careful there too. Sterling yen still the 213.35 resistance, and the support here 210.75. The Aussie dollar, well, you can see here key support here around the 69.40. Dipped a little bit below a couple of times and trying again this morning. You see RSI just a little above 40, so it could turn around, and if it does, crawl back above the cloud area here, and it takes out the peak there at 71.25, 71.25, then uptrend has resumed. But keep an eye on this support there. That could spoil the picture to the downside. Dollar Canada, let's just resize there. Dollar Canada testing 786 retracement there at 138.25. I still believe we will see it pushing higher, given the fact that we are in a positive sentiment. There's no divergence, so it'll be a bullish trend. Could be maybe sitting back a little bit here next few days, and then next move higher. But keep an eye on if it starts pushing above this level there, then we are looking for levels around 139, 139.20, 30 area. Sterling Canada spiked high yesterday, but it's trading around here. I think actually will slide back a little bit here the next few days. And what you can do if it does that, well, we could be trying to find some levels that we could look out for, and there are some Fibonacci levels there. The key support here at 183.20. The Swiss franc, key resistance there at 91.70, a strong resistance, and just in the cloud here. And RSI currently testing the 60 threshold, so we are at a crossroad here, a little bit of pivot point. Will it be set back? And if it does starts to show some weakness, sending it back, then you can do this and say, well, we do have some levels here we could look out for, and it could slide back towards 91. Dollar Swiss, as we talked about yesterday, that it was likely to push higher, and I think it will take out the spike up there at 79.58, 60 level, and then there's room up to around 80.40. But if it starts taking out these levels down here, especially at the low here at 78.30 and the 78.50 down here, then we are in for a bearish move. But for now, I think we will see it pushing higher. The dollar index starting to crawl back above the rising trend line there, and I think we could see it pushing higher towards the resistance there. Strong resistance at 100.35. It didn't get all the way up there a few weeks ago, but you will see how it bounced up to the 786 retracement there, then set it back now, and it has another go at it. So let's see what it can do. Moving on to metals market, that is still quite volatile. We had a spike up there to just below the 100 moving average, then sitting back, and could test these lows here once again. What you can do also here, we can add Fibonacci to these levels here, so you have at least some guidance where there could be some pausing. We already got back to the 38.2 retracement there at 44.10. If it takes out the lows from today, which I could see playing out, well, then we could see it sliding lower towards 42.90. And you can see there's still negative sentiment. There's no divergence, actually indicating we could see lower levels below here. So let's see if that plays out. Unless it takes out the peak from yesterday at 4,603, I always add a little bit to the upper side. Then we could see it pushing towards 4,800 once again. So we are a little bit in a wait-and-see mode there, but to the weaker side. Also, the silver spot here, sliding back here after being rejected at 100 moving average, and I think we could see it pushing towards the $65 again. Platinum, also same picture really, so still to the weaker side. You can see the 55 really violently pushing lower there. Got rejected below. It didn't even get up to the 100 moving average, got rejected there just around the 2000, and it didn't 1997. It got up to that level, and now sitting back there, negative sentiment. So we could see another pressure to the downside to this strong support down there. Copper also sliding back here after being rejected 100 moving average and the 38.2 retracement there at 559. Is now sitting back, and we could see it trying to push lower here, and I think bears are in control still. On the energy market, we have in a bouncing mode, so I have added this Fibonacci. We have taken back 50% of this massive sell-off here from the 23rd of March, and I think we will see it crawling higher here throughout the day to 95, possibly higher. So keep an eye on that. But the key resistance area is up here around 102, 102.42. If it takes out that, then we are likely to see a higher, a stronger push higher towards the previous peak, and maybe even higher in the coming weeks. And that's where I am in my view. But again, it is not given that so much can happening here. So be careful if you're trading oil. We have the falling trend line there on the RSI. If it's breaking above that, well, then I think we're likely to see much higher levels. For now, we are back in a positive sentiment. Let's remove that. It's just noise now. So looks fairly strong. Unfortunately, here we have Brent. That looks even stronger, currently testing the resistance and 38.2 retracement there, just around $105 a barrel, and I think we could see it pushing high. If it takes really breaks above it, it just peeped a little bit above, but I think we could see it towards 110 and a quarter here in the coming days, unfortunately. But as we can also see, you can, and let me just show you on intraday chart. This is a 1 hour chart. There is currently some strong resistance. We are in a positive sentiment here on the 1 hour chart, but we have the 100 moving average kind of trying to push it down, and we have the 200 and the upper part of the cloud. So maybe a little bit of a setback here the next few hours, but then we'll probably have a go at it again, but be careful, things can easily change. EU NatGas just opened and they bounced off the support there at 48.43, not the strongest one, but nevertheless it bounced off and could push higher. And I think I will actually adjust this one, remove it, I'm sorry. It could push back to the 38.2 retracement. So unless it takes out the lows from today and this 48.40 here, where we then could see it setting back even further, then NatGas is on the rise towards 60-61 euros, possibly higher. The US NatGas, on the other hand, is just doing nothing, so not much to talk about there. It is 277, that is support down here, and it could be testing it, and that could take it down to around $262. Moving on to the interest rate and the US 10-year Treasury yields. Let's just take a little bit bigger look here. So we are still in a bullish trend. We bounced off the 50% here at 130%, and it seems to be crawling up again. There's positive sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels. So there is a risk we could see up to around 4.5%. So that's a little bit of worry for us there. EU 10-year bounced off the 61.8 retracement of this uptrend here, and the correction down to the 61.8 retracement. They are just below 295, and it hasn't just opened here this morning just yet. Has it? No, it hasn't. So, oh yeah, it has. Sorry, it already started trading, so it's pushing up here, and I think we could see it push higher here in the coming days. And if you're really trading on the short term, well, then you can also do this. Okay, now we have a little bit of correction there. So currently around the 38.2 retracement, 61 is a key area at around 3.303%. If it takes out that, then I think we'll see higher levels above 3.82 or to 3.13, maybe even higher. The UK 10, that one hasn't opened, but I think we could see it also bouncing here. So if it moves back above 490, well, then uptrend could is still in session. The The Japanese 10 bounced a little bit this morning, but it's still in a bullish trend. And if it takes out the 233, then uptrend is likely to take it to new highs there. On the crypto side, it's really not doing much. It's strangely calm doing all this, but that's how it is. But we are in a slightly bullish trend, as you can see here, and I think we'll see it pushing higher in the coming days and weeks. Positive sentiment on the RSI, as long as it stays above the rising trend line there. And we can actually adjust this and say, as long as it stays above 67,330. Ethereum, more or less the same picture. And we have a support here that should be observed. So as long as it stays above 2020, well, then we are in a short-term bullish trend. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day. Keep charting out there and be careful.